Welcome to Oaklawn Capping Hour. Jeff, welcome, man. It's been a couple of weeks since I've seen you over there at Sam Houston. How you doing? Jeff, I think your mic is off.
Yeah, it's been a few
Oh, there
weeks
it
since
goes. You got it.
Houston.
Yeah, we had a good time out there. You collected a seat. Now, when I talked to you on the
Good
phone.
morning.
Yeah, good morning.
It's I hope you can hear me because it is a monsoon outside
Oh, yeah?
right now.
Okay,
And,
so Jeff, where are you right now?
could you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I think there's a little bit of a delay.
Okay. Yeah, there's it was it was buffering for a second there, but
Okay.
yeah, it's if Oaklawn, I know there's rain there in Hot Springs.
Right. Yeah, we have a bad delay,
So there
Jeff.
is a little delay going on.
Yeah, there's definitely a delay. So, anyway,
Pretty interesting.
yeah, anyway, maybe if you want to log out, you could try and log out and log in back in. Maybe that would do something to help the delay a little bit for us. And then Marco will be coming on soon. But I think it's something going on your end. Maybe it's the weather. I'm not sure. But anyway, what I wanted to do is dive into. You hear me? Jeff, try logging out and logging back in.
Okay.
Yeah, try that out. Hang tight, everybody. Okay, can you hear me good? Yeah, we got a bad delay. That's weird. Earth to Jeff, Earth to Jeff. Sorry, guys. We're gonna figure this out, guys. Just stay tuned. All right, Jeff, you hear me?
Yeah, this seems a lot better.
There it is. Yeah, perfect. All right. Yeah, I got. I mean, we've had some issues before with other people, and we've always figured it out. But
I figure I'm old. Technology's kind of passing me by, so
you're not that old. Come on.
I'm getting up there. That's for sure.
So anyway, yeah, Marco. I'm not sure where he's at. He's not a morning person, but not good for a morning show. But I'm sure he'll be on.
Exactly.
I'm sure he'll be on soon. Anyway, Jeff, the NHC. Listen, when I talked to you yesterday on the phone, and it didn't dawn on me that when you won a seat at Sam Houston a few weeks ago, that was a first chance, last chance tournament, and you used your win for 2026. So you have a seat this year, or do you have 2 seats coming up next month? Or did you just use one for each? You just use one for next year?
Yeah, so I only have one for this year. I earned that at Lone Star, so I seem to have pretty good success in Texas. But I've never been big on having to have 2 entries.
Right.
To be honest, I find it partially a distraction. So you only need one to win. I focus on that one. If I do get a second one, that'd be fine, but it's not a focus. And then so at Sam Houston, I came in third. The top 2 took BCBC seats, which was expected, and I had the choice. And I would much rather just get the 2026 seat, not have to worry about it for a year, and punch my ticket to Vegas for 2 years in a row, and that's what I did.
Yeah, and you're a Texas resident, so you guys are a little bit more of at a disadvantage. You mostly
I'm a Kentucky resident.
Oh, you are a Kentucky resident.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Okay, so you have a lot of scores in Texas.
Yeah, I mean,
you're part of the Texas.
I think it's the best kept secret in tournament play. They don't take anything out, and like I said, I've had pretty good success. So, it's a short 2-hour flight. Go down there, win what I have to win, and come back home.
Yeah, I like to play in the Texas tournaments as well. I've done well in those tournaments. I'm looking at your scores right now on the NTRA website for the NAC, and you have scored everywhere in Texas. Both 2 scores at Lone Star in May, of course, the Sam Houston score, the Silver Sunday, that was in Vegas, and of course you racked up some points in the free tournament on horse tourneys. You're right about the one entry. Every time I've had a multiple entry at the NHC, I haven't done well. I don't know why that is. Both times that I have cashed, I had one entry. I can't explain it. That's obviously done well for you. So you're like, well, hell, I'm just going to get my seat out of the way for next year. And then you got no pressure to get your second seat, or you can concentrate on the BCBC or, whatever you want to do. But looking at your scores, you have, you're a 6-time qualifier and you have a lot of points. You have 12,000 points. Have you ever thought about maybe attacking the tour, playing more online, or are you just going to stick to fly down to Texas once in a while, or just playing Vegas?
I thought about it, but I think it takes a lot of money and time to attempt to score well on the tour.
Right.
You have to. I think nowadays you have to travel to several on-site tournaments, and I don't know. It's just maybe not a priority of mine. I tend to be a little more selective. I play a decent amount, but I do have a regular job, so most of the time during the week I can't do a whole lot. Once in a while, if I'm working from home, the night before I can handicap the races, but during the week, any live tournament it's very difficult for me to play. And So I'm selective. I try to win, get entries into some of the bigger tournaments, and then depending on how I do, that kind of puts my focus for the rest of the year. But I do try to. I've only been into the BCBC twice. Did very well the first time. Did horrible this past year. But NHC has kind of been my main focus. I think. I tend to have a good style for the NHC, and I've had some success. A few years ago I was, I think, 24th going into Sunday, and unfortunately had the worst Sunday I've ever had in my life. I did not even cash one race, and so I dropped to like 50 something place.
That was me last year on Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you just have those days that nothing works. And it was the wrong time to have it because I was in contention and I really wanted to make that final table. But you still cash, you still come away with something. You get to be with a bunch of people that love the game as much as I do. And we have Table 36, which is a group of us that have met over the years from all over the country. So I get to see them. And I want to shout out to Steve Lerma and El Presidente, Dan Edwards. Over the last week, they both earned entries into the Grade 1 Gamble here in Kentucky. So hopefully I'll get to see them in person.
Oh, that's sweet. That's the Keeneland tournament, right?
Keeneland, yep.
Yeah.
Which I guess is technically my home track.
Yeah. So where in Kentucky do you live? Are you in Lexington?
So I live in a city called Richmond, which is about 30 minutes south of Lexington.
Okay.
So
you're right there.
Yeah, and I've only lived here a little over a year, so I've pretty much lived everywhere. But I like it down here. I mean, for a horse player and somebody that loves horses, you can't beat Kentucky, that's for sure.
Hot Springs. So a lot of horse players, prominent horse players, the who's list of horse players that and you see have never been to Hot Springs. They've never been to Oaklawn. And the main reason is they haven't had a tournament there for 15 years.
Yep.
Have you been there? When's the last time you've been there? And have you ever visited Rocky's Corner?
So I've been to Oaklawn 2 times. I think maybe 3, but I think it's just 2, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It was before they built the casino and the hotel. So I don't know how long ago that was.
It's like 20 years ago.
But I've always enjoyed it. It's kind of right in the middle of town. And so I think both times that I went, it was because I had to be in that general area for work, and I was able to stay a couple extra days and go on the weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I wish they would have tournament. I think if they did, they would draw a huge crowd.
Yeah, I've tried to open up some dialogue with a few people over there, and I don't know. I haven't gotten too far. The squeaky mouse will get the cheese.
I'm not quite certain why Oaklawn isn't a part of even the online tournaments. I never understood it. If I were the general manager of a track, I would want people to have visibility to my track, which would drive up handle. I think there can't be much of a negative of allowing it. There's got to be some behind the scenes work why they don't do it.
Makes no sense.
But it doesn't make any sense. And I would love it to be part of horse players, horse tourneys, because I certainly like playing it.
I would too, for obvious reasons. And I mean, it's such a huge venue for the NHC. If you don't pick a winner there, at least one, the price horse, you're gonna have a hard time making it to day 3 and making the cut if you don't do something decent at Oaklawn, because there's Mandy's on there, there's mandatory races, and then there's
not only mandatory races, but I would say if you take the tracks if they take the tracks they use for NHC, I would bet Oaklawn brings probably the highest average prices for the winner.
Right. Yep.
Especially over 5-horse fields at Santa Anita and Aqueduct.
I know. Yeah. I know. In the winter in New York, it's there's no turf, and the dirt racing's got small fields. Santa Anita, you can find a turf race out there, but you're right. A lot of the dirt racing is just
Yeah.
But the maiden races at Santa Anita, you'll have 3 Bafferts, a Sadler, and a Pete Miller, and that's about it. It's not a
Yeah,
lot.
it
You
was kind
can't
of
find
funny
any
the other
value.
day. They had 4-horse field, 3 of them were Baffert,
And he got beat.
and he got beat. Yeah,
I saw the same thing you did.
Yep.
Oh man, we were laughing about it. Actually, I think it was. I don't know if it was Justin Dew or Dylan or one of those guys. They picked the non-Baffert horse to win that race.
Yeah, it's tough to do, but
I was laughing about it.
yeah, I mean, you're never going to get a price on a highly touted Baffert horse. Just never going to happen. It's probably a good bet against more than not, just because the value of the other horses are going to be that much higher than they should be.
Right.
But even then, sometimes you can beat it and you still only get 3-1. So it's kind of tough to play at the NHC.
NAC news. I'm sure there's a 165 game out there. I've noticed if somebody's looking for a seat, they have a lot of times these non-winners of one events. Anybody that's not qualified can play in them. They also have these low ratio games. Now they're $500, but you can qualify into those for $56, and that might be another option. There's only 2 live events left. I think there's one this weekend at Monmouth, and I think it's this weekend. And then next weekend is Tampa Bay. It's a 2-day event. It's I've been to that event before.
I have as well.
I think I that format's a little bit different. I'm not a fan of it, but hey, I'm beggars can't be choosers. It's they give out some seats if you are in the area and you want to qualify. Pay your little $30 fee, $25 fee to be a member of the tour. Enter the tournament, and maybe you can make it. That's when the tour ends, by the way. Next weekend, I think, is the last weekend for tour points. So top 75, if you haven't gotten a seat, usually the cutoff's like 11,000 and change, and you can get in. The weather today in Hot Springs, I usually rely on Marco for this to look out the window. The weather forecast looked wet, so I handicapped for such. And
yeah, so did I. It looked like it was going to be real wet.
Yeah, so we're probably going to have a muddy track. We're not going to have to worry about anything coming off the turf, though, so we won't worry about that. All right, let's dive into racing. If Marco joins us, he joins us. If not, he doesn't.
Okay.
All right, the first race is... Looks like we got a restricted $75,000 allowance race, and this is for 3-year-old fillies and up. And looking at the picks, it looks like you and Marco had the same pick, the 3-horse. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Princess Palace?
So this is going to be a theme for 3 of the races today, and it seems to be an angle that has worked. It doesn't work every time, but it's when 3-year-olds are going against 4-year-olds this time of year. And I almost always will take a 4-year-old or 4-year-old and up over a 3-year-old. The worse the race, the better the chance a 3-year-old has, I think. But so if all things are being semi-equal or not even close to equal, I'll take the 4-year-old. So that's what I did here. It's a first-time starter, 4-year-old, so there obviously is a risk. This is a very kind of tough race, but my angle with the 4-year-old plus the bullet work, I'll take a shot at a 20-1 shot here, just because I don't think it's going to go off at 20-1, but there's really not one that I truly like in this race, so why not take a shot?
It has 2 siblings. One of the siblings is a 11-time winner that looks like almost $400,000 in earnings. The other sibling was one first time asking at Hastings, and something went wrong. So it never ran again. That was back in 21, but it won by 4 lengths in debut. So that's pretty interesting. And good point about the maturity of a 4-year-old as opposed to these new 2 to 3-year-olds. I did go with a 3-year-old. Looks like I'm on Vanilla, And I don't have my notes here, but I've been just going with the hot hand with the McPeak Le Peru. There's no rhyme or reason behind the pick other than that. I did like some of the siblings on here. It does have a good work pattern. The work on February 1st was really good out of the gate. And I like being, if I'm drawn on the outside, I want to be the most outer, whether it's 7 of 7, 8 of 8, 9 of 9. Don't have anybody on the outside to bug me. I can break clean, get position. But man, I tell you, McPeak and Le Peru have been just doing so good at the meet. And they're winning a lot of races. So that's where I landed. Marco, I wish we had him on because he had the same sentiments as you with Princess Palace, as he liked a 20-1 morning line for the Ian Jewell barn. I don't know much about Ian Jewell, but he was 1 for 43 last year, but has 2 wins at the meet this year at Oaklawn, which is hard to do. So, and you do have that bullet move 3/8 coming in.
Yeah, so, I mean it's low percentage barn. That's why you're getting the price. I do have a lot of comments about McPeak and Le Peru later in the card.
Okay.
But I can give you. So I listen to Bick's show a lot during the week because I drive around a lot visiting clients.
Yep.
And they had Kenny McPeak on, and he kind of made it seem like he doesn't crank his horses a whole lot the first out, but really steps it up their second start. So okay. I kind of go by that. Now he can win first out. I mean, he doesn't have a high percentage, but he still can win. But I tend to go for his second time starters.
That's a good point.
So you're going to see that a little bit later in the card.
Yeah, he's 8%. We're first time starters and duly noted on that. The 2 is a formidable favorite off that debut, Speed Fade. They usually come back, run a little bit faster. I also was partial to the Schreier runner here, Annie B, a little bit. But I don't know. This is a crapshoot. You really don't know. I like what you're saying about the maturity angle. The 6 is another one that's making its 4-year-old debut. Ran pretty fast here last year in debut. Was the beaten favorite second time out at Prairie Meadows. Something went awry for the 6 on June 8th, and it looks like it's coming into this race smartly for Joe Offolter. I don't know who.
Yeah, I had the 6 as my third choice, but you look at Richard Aramia, or however you pronounce his last name.
Aramia, yeah.
Aramia, 0 for 20 with 0 seconds and 0 thirds. So
yeah, I see that.
Hard to ignore that figure right now.
Yeah, it is. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. These are, young, experienced horses, maidens, and that'll kick off the pick 5. Race 2. Oh, we got Marco. Good morning, Marco. How are you?
Morning.
Are you doing okay? Did you do the 3 S's already?
No.
Oh, you didn't get
I had the 2 C's though.
The 2 C's. Okay. The cigarette and the coffee.
There you go. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I wake up naturally.
I love coffee. I ain't smoking cigarettes. That's why I got my dark hair still. I mean,
yeah, I don't do that either. So.
Yeah, you can't. Marco, you and Jeff landed on the same bomb here, the 4-year-old. Did you have anything to add from the first race?
I just got in, but not much.
Not much?
Nah.
Well, hell, it's 20-1 and you picked it on top.
Well, I didn't see a whole lot in here that I liked, and this one has a pretty decent sibling that won and had a pretty good workout. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I talked about all that good stuff already, and Jeff kind of mentioned that he liked the fact that it was a 4-year-old, which on maturity makes a lot of sense. All right, let's go to race 2. Race 2 is – kind of race is this? Looks like it's a 35,000 non-3 life. We're going 3/4. And Marco, you and Jeff, this is a similar theme here, common theme. You guys land on the same horse. You guys are both on the 5. Did you want to start us off with Mischievous M? We're 9 to 5 here, so not too big of a mystery, but
oh yeah.
You want me to start or Mark to start?
Look,
no.
My thing is when you come here and you like Oaklawn, you notice this year there's a lot, or actually all the years, there's a lot of repeat winners. Even yesterday in the nightcap, Caliente Star.
Oh man, leaving that one off.
I mentioned that horse. I was up in the air with that one yesterday over the one I actually picked, but you could when they hit the track at Oaklawn good, you know they're going to be running good here all meet. This horse is fast. I think this horse is going to be out front early and he's just going to keep going. It looks like he's in really good form right now as well. So I'm not going to try to fix what's not broke. 9 to 5 is a little chalky, but you got to pick winners.
No, I like it. It's Jeff. I mean, this horse is now being spotted somewhat aggressively with the top chalk. What did you like?
Yeah, I mean, it sometimes when you see a race and it looks logical, you just have to take the horse. And this horse just looks like it fits. It looks just too tough for these. The speed figures are better. He's got the top jock at the meet. The combination between trainer jockey is good. There's just not a whole lot to knock on this horse. In this case, I just had to take it on top.
No, I can't blame you guys. It makes a lot of sense. For some reason, I don't have it in my top 2 because I'm always looking for a price. I landed on the 6-year Easy Action, and it exits a super tough race. 2 back with Chiringo and Classic Car Wash, Bohemian Bay. And then last time, again, maybe even a tougher race because I think Wendelson is a Count Fleet or whatever what's the big sprint race later in the year? Is that the Count Fleet? Anyway, Wendelson is just in unbelievable form. And here is what he looks like. He did get 100 by our speed figure in that last race where he broke a little slow and had to power 5 wide. Did get embarrassed by Banishing, but Banishing might be the best sprinter in the country right now. And, look for that rematch again, Wendelson versus Banishing. So in other words, the company lines on this horse are extraordinary. And I think we get a lot of class relief today in for the tag. And I think this one wakes up in a big way at 15 to 1. I really do like, and you can see this one was fast last year. Hasn't really put anything together at Monmouth on the turf, and then they got washed off at Laurel. Just lost by a nose there. Gave it some time off. The 2 races here, like I mentioned, just super, super tough. In for the tag, but I think the 56 exacta might be the play here.
It might be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. That is my price play here. Could it turn the tables on the 5? Possibly. It's horse racing. You never know. Mm-hmm. But everything you said, and actually your second choice is my third choice. So we're kind of in sync there. It wouldn't be a bad thing if the 6 beat the 5.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the 2. I mean, the form horse and the one getting class relief. They're both actually getting a little bit of class relief. The 5, has run against some decent horses, but nothing like the 6 has run against. However, the 6 did get drubbed. I mean, 2 back was whatever. The last race was pretty bad. But when you're running against those types, sometimes you get your head jerked off and you need to gather yourself and drop down to a level like this to collect your thoughts. So we'll see what happens here. The form horse versus the big class dropper. It's going to be fun to watch. All right, race 3 is a 3-year-old only race. It's optional claiming 62,000 2-turn race. I landed on the 3. Marco, you landed on the 3, and Jeff has the 4. Marco, start us off with Expedition here.
When I first looked at this race, I noticed that Asmussen had this one in here, and he did not have Asmussen riding.
I know that killed me yesterday. Rivet,
which I like. And Santana is having a tricky good meet right now. This horse, that's by a gun runner, lightly raced. He's getting first juice. I would like to see a little bit of a better start. He looks like he had, Santana may be the best rider to ride this horse in its career, aside from Luis Saez back in the slop, which he won that race. Right. And today is going to be today will be muddy. It's wet outside, just so you guys know.
Yeah, we kind of gathered that information early on. Yeah.
So I think with the rider change and the wet conditions, this one has maybe a little advantage here.
Yeah, listen, Asmussen off, meaning the jockeys. The kids, God, they're killing. Asmussen, 9% at Oaklawn, 9%. This is your leading multiple trainer at Oaklawn for years. He's got 15 wins and 172 starts. And the common denominator are his 2 sons riding. And this is, I love seeing Santana. Now, Contreras rode last time. We're also getting second-time blinkers, and I love that angle. And you mentioned from 2 to 3, you get the run on Lasix, but the slop race as a 2-year-old was really good at Churchill Downs. So I'm looking for all of that to be put together today, and the stars line up. And let's get Asmussen going. Man, we just passed Valentine's Day, and this guy's got 15 wins at 9%. It's pretty amazing, and part of the reason why my ROI has been taking kind of a hit this year as opposed to last year so far. I'm not picking his winners, and I'm picking his losers, and a lot of times I'm not getting the best ride. And let's see if Santana can get Expedition in a good spot. Jeff, you're on the outside horse, Fast Joker at 10-1.
Well, hopefully you're going to pick his loser again this race, because this is my play of the day.
Okay.
So there are a few things I like about this horse. Number one, it's dropping for a lower tag that was an optional tag before, and it has run twice on the off track. Mm-hmm. Does not have a placing. However, the races are a lot better than they look on paper. So practical jokes are typically pretty good on the wet. And another thing that I like is that the last race was the first race that did not break slowly. So had a bad habit of breaking slowly, coming on. And what happened, though, last race is I think he just went too fast and then faded it at the end. I think he's going to learn from that experience. I think this race does not have a lot of speed in it. So I think it's going to – if I had to pace project the race, I think it's going to just sit second and then pounce like it's done in the past. So very high on this horse in this race. And I'm going to take that money to the window.
All right, you're going to double pound that at the window. Yeah, second time blinkers again for this one. Good angle. And you're right about that last race. Brodeur is one that we know well.
2-time winner.
Yeah, me and Marco have been on that one for both of its wins. And there's a nice trip note on Brodeur in his last. So next time he runs, I will be on that horse again. Because he won 2 and then he had a disastrous trip in his third start. So something to think about in the future, maybe NHC time. The rail horse is one I had a trip note on. I just think the waters are a little bit too deep here. I respect the connections. That was a 30. It did have visually, if you watched the race. Yeah, I just want you guys to watch this replay of Mike Tango. Keep in mind this is a 30 maiden claiming event, but watch what happens to this horse out of the 2-hole.
Stonington goes into the gate. We're ready to go. And Leroff, Tango Mike off slowly from post position 2. Good beginning from
Broke
Viney,
terrible.
who's on the lead today. Arjun for Cars moves up to come and challenge on the inside. Nothing But Air is not far off in a tight spot.
It's a bad spot to be at Oaklawn.
I had that horse
front running pace, which is
near the lead
Nothing But Air
in this race too.
And Viney stretched across the track. Fantastic. Getting over to the rail, runs in 4th right off that leading trio. Placed well. He's about 5 lengths ahead of Noble Rain and Stonington. They're next in the field. Problem solved. The gray rag now, and between them is Computing Champ down the back stretch. Tango Mike at the back has to pass them all and has at least a dozen lengths to make up as they head down the back stretch here. Nothing But Air, the pacemaker today, a length in front. Arjun for Cars.
Yeah, he's moving now.
Second, Mintastic third. Viney loses position rapidly, is in the 5th spot while continuing to lose ground. Stonington adding the blinkers today. Runs between horses.
Stuck behind
now
horses
4th,
here.
only a length and a half off the lead as they're packed up. Rag now, the gray's getting closer. Problem solved between horses shaken up going into the turn.
Slammed on brakes back there.
Inside, Tango Mike and Computing Champ at the back. Computing Champ in the meantime had to steady sharply while trying to make a move when in tight. Tango Mike's coming on the between horses here. Tango Mike's making a nice move as they round the 4th turn.
I mean, in hand.
Will end at the 16th pole. Stonington has opened up. He tries to give the field the slip right now, and Stonington's on top by 2. Mintastic is second. Tango Mike continues a rally down the center of the track. And here comes Tango Mike and Julian Leperoux coming up to Stonetastic. Tango Mike outside with a head in front now, and it's going to be Tango Mike to score. Stonington.
Yeah, that was a good effort for sure.
So I don't know how would a good break, a better break. I don't know where it's in the 1-hole that, listen, it was a low number. There wasn't a lot in that race. I just visually thought it was impressive, and I want to have it on my tickets just in case. I like, some your pick, Jeff, and my pick, and maybe a couple other ones. But I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see how this one runs today against a little bit better competition, considering how terrible it broke last time.
Looks like he has a little history of breaking slow.
Yeah,
but
he ran against Landing Craft 2 back, and that's a really nice runner. So that was one of the reasons why I liked it. And there was a first out winner in its debut when it was the beaten favorite sprinting. I was just hoping it would break a little bit cleaner from these last 2 races, and it just didn't happen. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. The 1-hole routing is not a big deal, but it could be problematic if you don't break too good. All right, race 4 is a maiden 12.5. We're going 3/4. And this is open company, 3-year-olds and up going 3/4. And Marco, me and you land on the same horse again. My backup is actually, no, Jeff has the 4. We both have the same backup as the 12. Jeff, why don't you start us off with the 4?
Okay, it's another 4-year-old versus 3-year-old angle.
Okay.
To be honest, even more so than the first race, this is like throwing darts. I don't have a lot of confidence in this pick at all. I mean, the horse has been off for almost a year. So I guess in a way, I'm hoping it's a new horse. 4-year-old coal fronts are nice on the off track. It didn't do a whole lot its first start and only start of its career. But, it's just one of those races that I say, let's take a shot. And there's really not a whole lot of other analysis involved other than the 4-year-old angle.
Listen, I like Ron Moquette's a really good conditioner, wins at Oaklawn a lot. And that alone, I like that. You do have a next out winner. It looks like Honest Opinion from that. Well, that was from last year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But there's some decent numbers in there. The winner had a 69 next in that race. So yeah, every right to improve, more mature. And we've said this on the show several times. This is very common to see a horse be put away for the summer and come back for the winter and spring meet at Oaklawn, especially if you're an Arkansas bred. Being against Marco, you landed on the same horse. It's another Arkansas bred, but man, this horse is working really well. I do have the December 31st move from the Oaklawn website, and here it is here, low on funds, and it looks like he is on the outside here. And we're going to watch this work. And he's had subsequent works that are just really, really good. This was a 48-3 move. And we're on the outside in the dark jacket. Again, when I'm watching these works, sometimes they look better than others. I'm by no means a professional at looking at the gait of a horse and how they move. Looks like this guy's kind of high in the stirrups here. The inside runners with them, and they just kind of hit the wire together there. And that was back on the 31st. Gallop out is satisfactory. But since that work, it's even come back and done even better. Let me go back to the PPs here. I believe there was a bullet move there's a bullet move on January 29th. 1 out of 87 out of the gate. Now, I don't have that work on the site, but if you go to oaklawn.com or oaklawnpark.com, you can get a lot of the works. You just type in the name of the horse. And that was a good move. And then another little maintenance drill for 3/8, 2 out of 10 on February 9th. So I'm kind of excited. I mean, do I normally pick an Arkansas bred against open company? Not really, but this is the bottom hole, and you can't always get a state bred maiden claiming event, The other thing is if you run for 12.5 in open company, you get, as an Arkansas bred, you can run for 20. So maybe that was another reasoning just to make sure, hey, if they do take it, it's a 4-year-old. So that's your theme, Jeff, as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this one's mature, working good. Randy Morris is no stranger, having a good meet too. 10 wins and 52 starts at the meet. So let's see if low on funds can get it done. Marco, what did you like about low on funds?
Pretty much similar. I mean, the workouts are good, and for the runners that have run in this race, not really any of them has shown anything. So typically, I go towards a first timer in these spots and see if you can get the value. And this horse is 12-1. You do got Jane Elliott, and she has 3 wins. However, those 3 wins, I believe, came all on bombs. That's the kind of mounts that she gets, but she's capable.
Look, if Randy's going to put her on, I'm good with that. This is only the second mount together, so but I don't know. This for an Arkansas bred, the work I showed you was 6 out of 137 in company. The one out of the gate was really good. This horse has worked pretty well, steadily, for this 4-year-old debut, and I'm kind of excited. The 12 is the one to beat, claimed into a hot barn, and ran a fast winning race, and the same race would be tough to deal with in here. That winner's gone, so.
Yeah,
Lord Diamond.
I'm definitely against the 12.
You're against the 12, okay. Yeah. Jeff, you had it as a backup. Marco, the 9 is Cash App Mike. Now, this one is our uncle's horse, or our uncle and our dad's horse. Listen, I haven't got, you might know more being on the grounds down there than I do. Did not like the mud. It's going to be muddy today.
Well, I'm just throwing a line. I'm throwing a line through that race all together.
Okay.
It was a while ago, and the horse had an extra month or longer to get ready. And it's he's making his second start, and like Jeff's pick, making it his second start. Those are the horses like in this field that I would gravitate to, if not for the 10 and the first timer and working out good.
Yeah, I can tell you about Cash Mike.
Yeah,
if you had a beauty contest, he would definitely win that. So I'll give you.
You know what they say too, the gray in the mud.
The gray in the mud, yeah. But he's a really good-looking son of Flame Away, and probably gets a lot of that gray from Cozine's side. And I don't know, he looks the part. We'll see. You're stepping down in class here, and let's just see if he can continue to improve and maybe split the field or maybe even surprise us and run a little better than that. Jeff, you have anything to add here?
Well, the 12 is a logical contender, but this is a good race to take a shot, and for your family's sake, I hope the 9 wins. 0 for 9 is 0 for 9 maiden, loves to finish second, and then you have added weight on him today, and so I just think, sure, I think it can come in the money, but someone's going to step up here, and why not one of our horses?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
let's get one of ours in. This is the classic. I don't want to win. A professional maiden. How many times have you seen that? They'll collect a lot of checks, run second, third, fourth, fifth, but they're not winning. And this one has steadily gone down the ladder. Yep. Now it's claimed into a new barn from the Asmussen barn. So you're off of the Asmussen program. We'll see if Arietta, though, is the winning hand, as we already talked earlier.
The worst part for those type of horses is not that they don't win, but as a handicapper and a bettor, you just never get good value because the public always will put it up at favorite, second favorite, because it comes in the money.
Right.
So even if it does win, you're not getting paid the right price anyway.
Right. All right, let's close out the pick 5. The pick 5 will close out with a allowance, other than going 2 turns. And this is for 4-year-olds and up. You got some nice horses in here, maybe, or these are fillies. So maybe you have these are 4-year-olds and up, not 3-year-olds and up. So there's not going to be any fantasy runners coming out of this race. All right. I landed on the 1. Marco, you also landed on the 1. Contour has a big trip note for me last time. Just a terrible start. Had way too much to do. Is normally not that far out of it. Was dead last. They add the blinkers today. And in that last race, he run against a horse named In Just My Heels, who's been really, really good. Now, this horse has run decent.
Love that horse.
Yeah. And Just My Heels just has won 2 in a row. And like you said, Marco, these Oaklawn horses that like to run well here, they keep running well here. And Just My Heels has done just that. But that and Just My Heels is one that might try a race like the Apple Blossom later, or one of the other big stake races for fillies and mares. But Contour, I'm willing to throw that last race out in this spot. And I really respect the connections here. Carl Broberg family tree, so to speak. And these guys know how to win races. And Esquivel is your guy, Marco. So we're adding a hood. We got your jock. Tell me more about it.
I think we might get a pace setup where he can stalk and I want to see him be just a little bit closer. even 4 lengths and 5 lengths, like a couple back, is maybe a little bit too far. I don't know. I want to get a good stalking trip, definitely a good gate break, and I think there's a little bit of pace in this race to where he can actually wear down the leader and go.
Yeah, save ground.
And I don't know if anything else is going to come from like the back and nip him, making one big run at the end. So I think
he'll get first run.
I think the scenario and the trip are going to work into his favor, and you're getting a good price. However, 15-1, I think it's a pipe dream.
Yeah, this horse won't go off at 15-1. And they tried the experiment. Look, they took the hood off last time. It didn't work out. Now it's back on. So we're much better with the hood. This looks like a good spot. I'm excited about this one. If I can get anything near that price, I'll be very happy about it. Jeff, you landed on the 6, who is Betty Davis.
So kind of the Arietta. Actually, Marco Esquivel is my favorite jockey at the track. I think he moves up a horse almost every time. Arietta is also pretty good. And normally I wouldn't like an Oscar performance on the dirt as much, but if you look back on his past performances, he's actually done pretty well in the dirt, or she's done pretty well in the dirt and went wire to wire in the slop at Churchill. This race, this is kind of a lukewarm play, but I just feel like coming off of Turfway up until fairly recently has been playing pretty, speed stock bias. So maybe the horse has been a little too far back at Turfway to close, especially even with the kind of the hot paces that it faced. So I think the pace should be fair here. I think I like the distance in the pedigree, and I'm going to take a shot at maybe sitting just off the pace and being able to close and take home the money at, I figure it'll go off around 10-1.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing Michael Tomlinson here. This is his first start, it looks like, and we haven't seen him all meet, and he doesn't really, since we've been watching Oaklawn, we don't see him ship a lot of horses in here. So this is an interesting move for sure. Definitely wants dirt, and they're getting it. And the last 2 dirt tries are pretty credible. So,
well, yeah, she's 2 for 2 routing on dirt.
Yeah. So
right.
Hey, why not 12-1? Another good pick here. Our backups are the 4, 5, and 10. I mean, it's that kind of a race. The 5 looks interesting for Ward. The 10, I threw in Pretty Layla. I was on this horse a few times. I did have it in that win in December. And then Marco, you have Majestic Oops, who we mentioned that one. Jeff, you have Carrera for McPeak and Le Peru combination as your backup, and you got to respect the connections, and if it can show it did win at Saratoga on an off track. The last race, it was way out in the 11 hole and lost against that same good horse that we were just talking about. So
yeah,
has every right to move forward. Street Sense, it looks like a dangerous horse. This is going to be an interesting race. It's a tough race to cap.
It is very tough.
I think you should demand a price in this race for sure.
I actually think the whole card is a tough card to cap today.
Yeah, it is. You throw in the mud and everything else.
I'm like, okay, I wanted to come on, and then I looked at the card, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what a difficult card this is going to be. But I want to say one comment about Le Peru. I used to really like him as a rider, maybe 7-8 years ago. And
that long ago, huh?
Yeah, a long time ago. And then I feel like the last several years, he's almost been disinterested in running. He used to be a fairly good closer, kind of knew how the tracks were playing and played to his strength. And I feel like he just maybe either lost his confidence or something that's changed. So it's nice to see that he's winning at 20%. Because I felt like at one time he was a very quality rider, and then he turned into a very mediocre rider.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that from a lot of different riders. Maybe he's got a second wind or third wind, or he's found a renaissance. He's like he's found his groove. Put it that way. He does know this filly well. 2 wins, and like we said, the last race. This is an interesting horse here. Your backup pick. So if you're playing the pick 5, this is the last leg of the pick 5, guys, and we would want you to throw our top picks in, but I think you might want to look at all of our backup picks in here as well. So,
well, if you hit the pick 5, you're gonna make some money today.
Yeah, yep. If you lose the first pick 5, race 6 starts a new pick 5, the late pick 5, and it is a claiming event, 40,000 non-3 life. Actually, it's 40 down to 35. Short stretch of the mile here, and this is for 4-year-olds and up. And let me get my graphic up here. Boom. Looks like we're all over the place here. It's another interesting race. I'll start off with the 2, who is Rebellious. And I had a lot of different notes. First of all, I respect the barn here, Cipriano Contreras. Used to train up in Chicago and used to be an assistant with Rivas. I've mentioned that a few times. And this is just a price play. He's good with these right off the claim. He's 21%. And him and De La Cruz have done some good work together at the meet. They've connected on 4 of 12 starts the last 2 years, 33%, and had some issues in that last. We'll see what happens. I like the switch, and if you look at the race 2 back, it was on an off track and it won. So I'm looking for a race similar to that in the new barn. McKnight has done decent here. He obviously won with this runner and then didn't get the trip that he wanted, but this is by no means a lateral move. I think this is a step up for the trainer. I really do. I think Cipriano, I have a lot of respect for this outfit. So Rebellious is probably going to outrun his odds today at 20-1, and he should be finding his groove a little late. Now, this is a short stretch, so we'll have to get moving in that turn and time it right, because we're ending at the first finish line. Jeff, you're on the 9. Searcy. That's probably named after Searcy, Arkansas.
Yeah, and my reasoning for this horse, there's a couple things similar to your point. Was Schultz is a positive ROI with a short layoff and has done decent at the meet. I feel like Good Magics, when they get it. And they can really improve. And it's looking like the horse has found its level. I think this is a good level for this horse, good claiming level. And it should be fairly forwardly placed. I mean, it's kind of all over the place as far as where it starts off a race, but I would say it's probably going to be up close. And with that short stretch, the short layoff, I'm going to take a shot and hope to get a decent price on this horse.
I like it. Lots of breaks. June, a little bit of a small break from June to August last year. Ran twice in that month. Took some time off in December. At Churchill, ran the one race there, and it's been down here working steadily, since the meet opened. So this is the first start of the meet. Schultz is a good conditioner, can win off this layoff. It's going to be prominent early, and a lot of times, it just depends on how this track's playing. I've seen closers do well on an off track here. I've seen speed do well, which normally does well on an off track. You just never know at Oaklawn Park. Depends on how it's drying out or how wet it really is and how the moisture looks. But looks like a good pick at 10-1. Marco, your top pick is my backup pick. It's Tom Amos and Christian Torres, so not a lot of mystery.
No, the horse was running in some pretty decent first level allowance, races last spring and summer. In May, took a little break, came back in November, kind of needed the race, and then got shipped here, put him back at the routing distance, and pretty much just missed. Not too bad of a race off the second for this first time back here at Oaklawn. And I think the horse is actually going to be primed up a little bit more now, more wind in his lungs. He tried the same race. This is another non-3 life event, and he fits here definitely. And he's not a total stranger to Oaklawn. He does got a second and a third and 3 starts. However, one of them was a DQ. He actually won the race. So I think he can definitely get the Oaklawn strip as well.
Yeah, I like this runner. It did run against Cash Me Up, who did come back yesterday on Valentine's Day to romp with an 85 buyer speed figure and a starter allowance. So that's a good company line for sure there. Formidable horse for sure. And looks like it's in a good spot to run a big race today, and one that you definitely want to include on your pick 5. Jeff, your backup was the 5 Myra's Boy. I did have a lot of notes on this horse. I think I picked this horse in debut for McKnight, and something went a little bit of awry there, but it does look interesting stepping down in class. And you have everybody calls him Bacon. I wonder if the real pronunciation of his last name would be Bason, but that's what I think. But 62-1 on that really tough race against Winnemac Avenue, a horse that I love, classic car wash. I mean, that was just an incredible race, and this is a much easier spot.
Yeah,
Avenue runs tonight, right? Or today?
Yeah, I actually pick Winnemac Avenue later in the card.
Okay. Sorry for cutting you off.
My notes on this 5 are it maybe have been just too tough of a race. But if you look, my notes here say 5 wide first turn, 4 wide second turn. I mean, you can't win a race doing that, especially if you're moving up in class. So it's kind of a throwout race, I feel. Could put forth a good effort here. Another good price. So, my notes also say this is a completely wide open race. So you never know.
Yeah, I like this horse second off the layoff. It's, my cousin Davey makes fun of me and my uncle, like, second off the layoff, you use that all the time. Well, it's big. You get a horse that's coming off of a layoff, and they always run better second time out usually, especially if you're running a shorter distance or whatever. This is the same distance, but point being, you go from Rocco Bowen to Bacon, Bason, whatever, and he's a 5-pound bug. 5 pounds matters in a route race, I think. In route racing, getting weight off. And this race, I mean, guys, this is a completely different race. I mean, you can see some of the horses that you've been running against here. Here's Classic Car Wash, Winnemac Avenue. We've talked about him. I'll talk about him later. Dematic was on the frickin' Kentucky Derby Trail at one point last year. I mean, those are the type of horses you're running against. This is a much easier spot and a bomb that you definitely want underneath or on your horizontal wagers for sure. All right, let's go to race 7. Race 7 is an optional claiming 62, going a mile and 1/8. So we're going 9 panels here. And this is where I land on Winnemac Avenue. And Winnemac Avenue did have a trip note for me in that last. Came off the layoff. Ran against Marco, about Devil's Tower. Devil's Tower was at Hawthorne last year and dominated, and then is coming over here and dominating with some crazy numbers. I'll pull up his past performances. He only got a 99 Beyer speed figure in that last race, and you'll probably see him butting heads with Banishing and a few of the other horses we already talked about. But that was a really tough race at Hawthorne. Came here, ran a really good race with some trouble, stumbled at the break, and just missed by a neck to Classic Car Wash. Just break clean today, second off. DeVito, very awesome, capable outfit. This horse was working well into that last race. And I think this one at 6-1 is a must use. And, as far as off going, I've got mixed reviews. It has run fast and off. It's got one win, though, in 5 starts. A lot of those other races were against really tough horses, I suppose. But I guess just break good today and we'll be okay. Marco, you're on the 10. Let me put the graphic up. Excuse me, not the 10. You're on the 2, and so is Jeff. Jeff, you want to start us off with Magic Tap? This is one that we know really well from last year.
Yeah, I mean, I almost want to pick against this horse, but I just couldn't find a reason to. It's had a big layoff. Hold on, my computer screen is going crazy on me. Okay, it's off a big layoff, so you say, okay, maybe you can go against it. But if you look in its history, it runs well off layoffs. Tappet horse, they do fine as they get older. So, it's 1 for 4 at the track with 1 second. Off track, it's 2 for 3 in the money. So there was just nothing that, grade 2, grade 3 type horse. I just couldn't go against it. Pretty much simple as that, really.
Yeah, it's a nice horse. Marco, you're kind of bucking your little trend here, but
I am. I like the horse. I like the horse pretty much that much where I just don't fuck it up, basically. It's just hang on, and I mean, the horse should fire today. Asmussen should have this one ready. It's a nice purse. And
I mean, he should, right? He should.
That's what I'm thinking.
God, what? But man, when is he gonna wake up? I'm waiting and waiting. I've been getting burned this meet. I'm almost like to the point where I'm like, gonna treat Asmussen like the plague. And just try and beat him now at this point until he shows me he can consistently win races here at Oaklawn. I'm still shocked at this 15 for 172. It's very shocking to me because last year he was crushing it with everything, short prices, bombs, just won the training title going away. He's not going to win it this year.
Yeah, and on paper, Magic Tap looks like in a league of its own versus these, to me anyway. And
hold on there, buddy, and
we'll see what happens. But yeah,
right.
If he doesn't fire, then somebody's going to be happy.
All right, well, we'll see if Winamac Avenue can run back to some of those older, faster races. I do like Game Warden a little bit too, getting nuts off. That's the Carl Broberg angle. So it's run fast at Saratoga. Maybe it was a horse for course over there. It's never run here, but I don't know. It's a Tappet out of a Mendaga de Oro. So let's see if this one ages like a fine wine as well, just like Magic Tap. Anything else to add in here, guys? Jeff, the rail horse, Tonka Warrior.
Yeah, another low-priced horse. Just feel like he can pick up the pieces, get into the exacta. The thing that stood out for me for Tonka Warrior is 6 for 10 in the money at Oaklawn. Obviously likes the track. 3 for 5 in first or second on the off track. So kind of a percentage play. I think your horse, the 8, is in there as well. I mean, I think there's about 3 or 4 horses that I feel are second to third ish behind the 2. So, like I said, I like that. I like Esquivel. So that's my second choice here.
Yeah, I mean, it's run successfully on turf. Turf horses in mud typically run decent. Has it win in 2 seconds in mud. The last drill was good. It's in decent. It's in good form. I mean, ran well in the stake. It ran well in the other race where it lost to Osborne, a talented runner. So seems to be liking it here. And you got your guy Esquivel. So everything looks pretty good there. The price, a little low on the on the totem pole there, but we always try to beat these horses a lot of times. All right, race 8. I want to say, wait, which one is the feature? Oh, we do have a stake. All right, what a card! We got a lot of nice big purses. I mean, here's another allowance, 130,000. 4-year-old fillies and up, going 2 turns, and it looks like we are all over the place on this one. Jeff, I'm going to let you start off with the 5 horse, who is Champagne Rose. Now, this is a horse that I did like. It got scratched out of a race. Tell me what you like about this runner.
So this fits my Kenny McPeak second start angle. Second start off of a long layoff.
Okay.
So you have McPeak, you have Esquivel. They're lethal as a combination. So that's the first side why I like it. Took a long look at Agnes Gold to see, because it had been running on turf. They tried to run it on turf at the fairgrounds. So could it go on dirt? And I'm confident that it can go on dirt as well as go on the off track on dirt. So top that with the fact that it's going to get the distance, and it's not an overwhelming field. I think, the favorite, or at least the 2, the morning line favorite, the 2 and the 4, they don't impress me all that much. I think the 2 is fine to come in second, but I don't think there's a whole lot to beat, and I'm going to go to my grave with that angle, at least for now. So this is my top money play of the day right here.
Yeah, I picked this one last time, and it got scratched out of the race. I didn't land again on it here. Last time we had a fast strip, and I was thinking, maybe he wanted to get a fast strip because it ran kind of poorly in the slop when they took the race off the turf. So my comments to McPeak were, why here? And, that race, it got that grade 1 that it won at in Brazil. Is that Brazil? That was a really good time form rating, which computes really well here. I know that was turf at 10 furlongs, but if it can run anywhere near that number, it's going to win the race most likely. So I don't blame you for taking a shot. I actually like the horse too. I don't know. I wonder, scratches aren't out yet. I wonder if he will keep it in the race, considering it's an off track, or not. If he does take it off, you do have the 2 as your backup. Bestseller at 5-2.
Yeah, which I'm not confident in. I looked long and hard at, is it going to run on the off track? Is it going to run? And I just couldn't knock it enough to not take it. But yeah, if it scratches, then the 2 is really more of a non-play for me.
Gotcha.
Here.
I landed on the 3 here for McKnight. He's done well with these first dirt horses from Canada in the past. Doing pretty good at the meet with a lot. I think all of his wins are from horses that, came from up there and never ran on dirt for the most part, a lot of them. So this one's no secret either. It's bred for turf, point of entry, Minister's Wildcat, but I wanted to take a chance at a price with this one, and it's working steadily. The drill on January 2nd was in particular really good, 48 flat, 2 out of 41, and I'm just hoping this one likes it and will be forwardly placed and Sometimes these synthetic / turf horses can run a little bit on an off track. That was the other thinking I was thinking. Lemon Muffin is one that everybody knows is 2-1. It's burning money left and right. I haven't been picking this horse from the start. The one time it burned me was in the freaking fantasy last year or one of those, the Honeybee, excuse me, when we had Tapit Janalee at 20-1. But anyway, this one has gone on a big losing streak since that big win. So I'm against that one. Marco, you're on the 7. Simply Enchanting for D'Amato.
Yeah, she looks like I think she could be in this race in better form after shipping here from California. That first out was part of the race for a while, and then it looks like she ran out of training. I don't think it was just because of the mud, that getting stuck in the mud kind of thing. I think she just was a little bit tired. Ran against In Just My Heels, which we touched on earlier, and love that horse. And this horse has been running against a lot of proven winners in her career already. A lot of next out winners. Just if you look up and down her lines right there. And the Nyquist animals are fine animals. They're turning into real good race horses. And this one is no different. I think she could be better. Especially the second time going here. So I think you ought to watch out for this horse today.
Yeah, I can see him taking a step forward, and it's got a steady work tab before and since that last, and makes a lot of sense here. Good barn. 8-1. I think you'll get it. So it'll be because Lemon Muffin just burns money, just takes so much money, and
it seems like Lemon Muffin runs every week.
I believe this one is the one that had a.
But you guys know the origin of Nyquist, the reason for the name?
It has to be a hockey player, right?
Yeah, it is. So I grew up in Detroit. That's really all my sports allegiance is all Detroit. And yeah, he started off his career on the Red Wings. So
yeah, I mean, Detroit said a lot of. I mean, I'm a Blackhawks fan. We can't get our shit together. We got Connor Bedard and a bunch of trash, but sooner or later we're going to get some help around that kid, and he's starting to pick it up too. He's averaging a point a game the last 25 games, so he's he's got a lot of talent. But
the Wings stole. Well, they didn't steal, but they have your legend now. So
yeah, Patrick Kane. Yeah. I wish he was still there to mentor that kid. He's a
Blackhawks. He's retired. I don't know why they did.
Patrick Kane is the best American hockey player of my lifetime. I think. Maybe somebody can prove me wrong, but 3 Stanley Cups, just a great player.
I'd say either him or Mike Modano, probably.
There you go.
Hey, by the way, real quick, Simply Enchanting is also a multiple graded stakes winner. So the family can run a little bit.
Let's take a peek at it real quick.
Oh, as
just
well.
Interested. You're not even naming the name. Let's see. There we go.
Levante or something. I forget.
I remember this runner. Yeah. Well, it didn't run that long ago. And it won in the mud. Look at that, Marco, at Churchill in the Fall City by 6 with a 100 buyer speed figure. So if you can run like that one, you never know.
If that's the big word in horse racing. If this.
All right.
Only I was the only horse running.
We got the feature of the day. This is the Dixie Belle. This is one we know well, the 3-year-old filly race, sprinting. And how come Kale's Angel's not in here? Isn't she eligible? Isn't she a 3-year-old eligible for this, or am I imagining things? Maybe I'm forgetting how old Kale's Angel is. Okay, maybe I'm.
Is she 3?
But anyway, maybe not. I might be. Maybe not. All right. Anyway, it looks like you and Jeff both go to the rail. Jeff, start us off with the Dixie Belle winner, in your opinion, with Miss Martini at a price at 12-1.
Well, I like the fact that you're not on it as your top choice because you're not winning with Asmussen. So that's my number one angle there. But it's kind of one of those things that sometimes you look at a horse, you look at the breeding, the connections, and the pattern, and you say, all right, if this horse improves, like I'm hoping it does, that it's going to win this race. And that's kind of my take on this horse. It's a little light compared to a couple of the horses in here, but not so much that it's a huge step up to win the race. And I mean, Curlins are proven at a distance. And although this is a sprint, the Curlins can also win going short. So you get a 5-pound weight break from the last race, one easy. So I'm just looking for consistent improvement, and if it goes off anywhere near 12-1 odds, I'll be thrilled.
Okay. Listen, these are young 3-year-olds, and but lightly raced. Anybody can pop up from here and just add 10 points to the buyer scale. Sheets, whatever. I mean, everybody can move up here. Marco, you're also on this runner. Again, you're bucking your Asmussen combo.
Yeah, well, he didn't fall off the horse last out. So
yeah.
If he can win on her, then he can win on her now. The horse, it was just like impressing to me, and like, yeah, the pedigree and the Asmussen. If he's gonna start winning stakes races, let's be today. This horse is really competitive. I mean, this race is really competitive. You can go anywhere, in any pick, and nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, no way." So, yeah, it's all pretty much shorter prices, except for this one's 12-1. So you're getting the value with this selection as well.
Yeah, I like it. I picked it second. I don't like the post. So we'll see if the kid can work out a trip down there and break sharp and get position and not get too much mud in her face. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see from the one post. I went to the outside. I went to Y'all Be Back. And, it showed the ability to run without the juice last time. I know the debut was good against a good field and a next out winner at Churchill. Won at Fairgrounds. They ran a 2-turn race last time. I got a little bit tired. Now we're coming back to the 1-turn Dixie Belle here. We're going to be able to see everything develop here. I think we just get the perfect trip. And Torres, look, 5-2, 7-horse compact field. Torres, at the very least, is going to give me the ride that I want. It's just a matter, it's just, is this horse good enough? And Jeff, there you go with the practical joke out of an Empire Maker, a broodmare. Empire Maker was good on mud, and so was practical joke. So, we got mud all over the place there. The Wet Tomlinson is over 400 if you believe in Tomlinson numbers. The last race was in the mud, by the way, and it was a good effort. But maybe, I'm not saying it can't run 2 turns. It was a good race. I just think it's going to be fully loaded on the cutback today. 5-2 is not, anything to get excited about, but it's where I landed.
Well, I definitely think we have the trifecta, so that means everybody should just totally bet the opposite.
Yeah. The favorite is one that you guys like. Is everybody should like it.
Not the like.
Came off the layoff and dirt debut and romped with a monster number. But being an off track and being a short price, I just, I'm not, it's probably going to run a big race. I want to try and beat a 7-5 morning line. And you guys are doing the same. You just know it's going to run well.
Yep.
At the same time, you're like, let's see if we can beat it.
Yeah, you don't leave that horse off the tickets. I mean, this is a race where I don't know if I would even want to try to take a stand, because I think any one of these can win. I would rather take a stand in a different race with one of my better selections and hit the all button here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the 5's going to show a lot of speed. It just died going 2 turns, but man, the other 2 sprints were pretty good. It's just missing a stake, losing to a next out winner. The 4 pressed is going to show some speed. The 3 for the other ass music coming in from Sunland and Zia. The last, I don't think that one's going to probably get the front, but it likes to be close. The 2 for John Ortiz is going absolutely, and it looks like it's just slower than these, and it's going to have to show me it can. This is an ambitious spot for this runner. I would like to see this one being by Mendelssohn out of that Irish broodmare. Get this one on turf, my opinion, but that's just me. I'm sure he'll figure that out after the meet. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting race, and the one I like, I just wish it was drawn in the middle as opposed to the rail. But if you can catch a flyer out of there, get a good spot, who knows? I mean, the debut you guys ran, just off a contested pace and grinded your way up to second. So that was a good debut. And the comebacker was awesome. So I can't blame you for picking it.
Yeah, I think by this point of the card, we're going to know how the track's playing and where you don't want to be and where you do want to be. So obviously some of these picks could get adjusted because of that. But going with what we have now, let's take a shot on the 1.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, we're going to close out all of our horizontal wagers, the pick 3s, the pick 5s, the late double. And we've got a state bred. I love this. The last race, usually an Arkansas bred race. And this is an A other than, going 3/4 for 3-year-olds and up. And we're all over the place on this one. And Marco, you're on the 2, who is Brahms Image. It looks like it's going to be winging it from the opening bell.
Pretty much. Brahms Image usually runs a pretty good race every time he runs. Doesn't matter what the condition is or the price. He doesn't care about that. He just goes and does his thing and try to hang on. 3rd off the layoff here. So since Prairie Meadows, I think if you're not informed now, then you're not going to be. So it's kind of my thinking, and just get out in front and don't let that mud hit you in the face. So, well,
I could tell you this one has history at Oaklawn. It likes Oaklawn.
Loves Oaklawn. 7 and 8 in the money. So
yeah, it won here.
Definitely a horse for course.
Yeah, so you got a horse for course. It likes it here. It's got speed. It's 4-1. That's a good square price. Jeff, you're going to try and win this thing with holding pattern. This is one. Marco, didn't you pick this one last time?
Probably. Yeah, I like holding pattern a lot. He's another one that couldn't run well here.
Yeah, I had notes on it. I think I picked it. I think I was kicking myself in the ass because I got off of it. I had notes in here: broke terribly, rally, drops, blah blah blah, all this other stuff in that race 2 back. And it ran like shit, and I got off of it. And they dropped it a little bit more last time, and it won with Quinones. And Quinones is on it again.
Quinones rides this horse very well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Jeff, 15-1 for Tom Swearingen, the old Illinois trainer. Tell us what you like. He's winning, Tom, over here.
Well, I mean, you've made my case a couple. Quinones is every time it rides it comes in the money. It seems like it's kind of one of those horses that goes in and out of form. But about this time last year is when it started to get into form. So I really liked the last race, even though, probably not the best competition. But, 2 for 2 with this trainer. Plus, if you look back, it comes in the money with this, the connection. 2 for 6 off track. 4 for 24 at Oaklawn. So it's a veteran. It's a hard knocking veteran that seems to be in form. I guess the only question I would have at this point in the card would be if horses can close, because it certainly doesn't have early speed. It's going to be sitting way back there. So if they are able to close, I like the horse. If they're not, I'd probably get off of it. But why not? Last race of the card, take a shot at a price.
I like it. I did like this horse. Man, that last race at 7-1, that cost me a lot of money. I faded it, and I've been zigging and zagging all meet, and I've got a nice database of trip notes. This one was should have been played last time. It has some good open company races here. Last year in that starter allowance ran third, and it did win a optional claiming 20 other than it. Or it ran second, at Louisiana Downs. So it has shown the ability to run well at a higher level. An Arkansas state bred other than, those races are lateral, if not even tougher. So if it can run that same race it just did, that was a powerful move. You run that same race or even a little quicker, you're going to be right there. Marco, your backup was the 10, who is my top pick. Strato for the Moquette Bejarano combination here. And this is one that likes Oaklawn, the off track could be a little bit deceiving.
I just saw that.
Just because, you're thinking, it's 0 for 2 on an 0 for 3 on an off track or whatever. Well, the off track 2 back was against Henro. Henro is, if he was in this race, would just destroy this field, and that was open company. And these last 2 races, by the way, were open company. Has never. This horse is better than it is on those sloppy tracks. I'll bring up Henro real quick so you guys can look at it. 7-2 is, it's respectable. It's not. It's a $9 horse, but Henro. Dylan Donnelly picked this horse live on our show, and you can see what this thing's been doing. It won the Iowa Derby. It won that race in the mud with a 92 Beyer speed figure that day. They tried it in the 5th season, where it ran a good race, a 4th in a stakes race here. So that's who you ran against, and some of the other runners are pretty good as well. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this one another crack against its own kind here. And the last time we ran against our own kind, we won relatively easy. So let's go with Strato at 7-2 for the Moquette Barn, making its seasonal debut. It might be, as a 4-year-old, bigger, faster, stronger, and has a good work tab coming in. So that's where I went, Strato. Marco, your backup was a 10. Mine was the 1. The 5 is Al's Romeo. It switched barns last time and won for these connections. So you have a little bit something there, Jeff. It's 3-1, so it's supposed to run pretty well here. It looks pretty formful off that last race.
Yeah, not crazy about it. Does like the wet, does like the track. Figure, it should be right there. You're not getting a good price, certainly not at 3-1. Mm-hmm. But I had to pick somebody second. I will say that if the 13 draws in, I think the 13 will be a factor in this race.
Ingrid Mason. Yep. It looks like it's run 2 good races, and it's rounding into form. At 5-1, yes, 100%. Got to watch out for that one. The Rail Horse is one that I threw in. Amazing success, only because it got me paid last time. Ran a really good race. It was for 10. against state breds. So the waters are deeper here. It's really never tried this level before, but I'm like, you know what? That was such a good race. As a 4-year-old, I'll throw it in underneath with Christian Torres, who does land on this horse. So you never know. Wow. Good stuff.
This is going to be a tough day today.
I'm going to be playing.
Not.
I'm going to, Jeff, are you going to be playing in any contests today?
I did win a feeder to the BCBC contest today.
Oh, good.
So it's not the low ratio, so it's pretty difficult to win. So I'm in that one. I'm sure I'll play a few other small ones. Nothing major today. I came very close to winning a BCBC yesterday. I was in the low. I won the feeder to the low ratio, and I was right there. And I hit a 13-1 shot. Finished second in the second to last race. Unfortunately, I took a bomb in the last race where my back was the favorite, and if I would have had the favorite, I would have won. So that's where the pick and praise kind of get you. You can't change your picks, but so I came real close. And that 2-horse that finished second, not only did finishing second potentially cost me the BCBC, but I had a pick 5 and a pick 6 at Gulfstream that would have paid big money if it would have won. So it was a huge, disappointing second place finish yesterday.
Well, we've all been there. There's no Twin Spires Oaklawn contest today.
No, there's one on tomorrow. I think they have it, Steve-O.
Yeah, I know, but I was kind of hoping to play, today. So that's.
I think it's because Fairgrounds has a big day today.
Yeah, they got what's the big race? It's the
Risen Star.
Risen Stars today. Risen Star. Okay.
But I read that Jonathan's way scratched, so that can change the complexion of that race.
Marco, you playing in any tournaments today?
Actually, I'm not even thinking about even going to the track today.
Oh, well, there is we
But
were talking about the first chance, last chance at Vegas. I see they got some feeders for $14.
I might go on there and play a feeder.
For $14 to get into the $59.
Yeah. I'm going to run up to Oaklawn for the race, for Cash at Mike's race.
Okay.
How's the weather there right now?
Wet. It was raining pretty much all day yesterday. It's just wet. It's a little bit on the. It's. I
hope they race today. I hope they don't cancel the card.
No,
it doesn't look like they're going to cancel. It's not.
If it's not below 32, what's the temperature there? It's got to be 60. Actually, it's cold out. No, it's cold out today.
It's colder.
It's cold up here, so usually it's about 30 degrees difference. If it's 8 here, it might be 38 over there.
Yeah, it's raining right now, as you can see outside. It's raining right now. If you can hear it.
But it doesn't look. I mean, temperature-wise, it's fine.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, as long as it's not freezing.
No, it's not freezing. I mean, I'm out here in this, and then it's. Yeah, you want a jacket, whatever.
All right, we're good then.
It's raining right now. It didn't look like it. I didn't hear it, but I had the door shut. But it's raining.
All right, so we're good there. They'll run. It's just going to be a sloppy track. I heard the rain. It's going to be sloppy. It's going to be an off track all day. We handicapped it appropriately.
Right.
I don't know what I'm going to do as far as contest play. I'll probably just bet today. No contests. I'll play. I'm going to try and hit these pick 5s today. See if I can do something there. Man, we don't have no sports to talk about. I was getting everybody's input on the Super Bowl, this and that. I don't know. March Madness is around the corner. I'm just getting ready for NAC. When, Jeff, are you flying in? Normally, when you get to Vegas, what day do you usually get in?
So usually I just fly in take an early flight on Thursday.
Okay.
I don't always play the last chance. This, even though, like I said, I don't care if I get a secondary. This time, the very first time I played the last chance qualifier, I won. So that's the only entry I'm going to play in the last chance. So if my flight gets delayed and I miss out, no big deal. Normally, a lot of times I'll fly out Sunday night to come back.
Wow.
Unfortunately for where I live, the Cincinnati airport is the only airport that you can get there nonstop. And coming back, you have to take a red eye, which is not ideal if you want nonstop. So I decided, you know what? Let me stay till Monday, and I'm taking a red eye Monday night coming back. But
all right.
Yeah, I think one time I got there on a Wednesday, but normally I'll just get in that morning, be ready to go.
Yeah, I usually fly in that Wednesday morning or Tuesday even, get acclimated, get settled in. I stay at Paris. I don't know where you stay, but you can ask for Paris.
Oh, see, that would be nice.
Yeah.
I didn't do that, but
yeah, the Horseshoe took over the old Bally's, and they've done some cosmetic work, and the rooms are fine, I guess. But I like the Paris side. The restaurants are better and all that good stuff. And it's a short little walk.
I hate to say it, but I used to love Vegas, and now I really don't like Vegas.
Vegas sucks.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Vegas. I'm walking. They cleaned it up a little bit last year, but 2 years ago, the panhandlers at the CVS over there. Yep. I mean, I had one lady barking at a tree. Another guy was like, I don't know. These people are nuts. And then you look at the prices. Yeah, remember the barking tree lady?
Yeah.
She was like running up to the tree and getting in its face and then running back and then barking at it. I was like, wow. There was one guy that said, need cash for coke and hookers. And the guy was honest, and I gave him $20.
Yeah, so why not lie? You know that it's going for something like that anyway, right?
Yeah,
he was honest
straight up.
So I gave him 20.
Trash.
But the main reason why I'm pissed off at Vegas lately, when I first went there, when I turned like 21, the food was affordable.
Yeah.
Nobody was getting in your back pocket for every little thing. It seems like, man, everything. You go and eat a breakfast. I'm talking just for yourself. It's $25 for some oatmeal and some eggs and maybe a cup of coffee.
And that's my biggest complaint, because, okay, you're a luxury destination. You can charge a little bit more, but they're gouging people.
Oh, man.
And it's just not right. I mean, I just think there's a point where, you don't have to do that. And I heard that they're cracking down on the resort fees.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a law passed where now you have to list the full price of the hotel in the price, because for us we get the room if we qualify, but if you're just going to Vegas and you're not normally going there, you don't know about that. You think you're paying $100 for a room and it's $150 a night. It's just, to me, there's so many sketchy practices there. Same with like the mini bars in the room. I've lost, and I don't gamble.
The mini bar, don't open up anything in the freaking hotel room.
Right. And I used to gamble, play a lot of blackjack, whatever. Now, really, honestly, horses and maybe a little bit of poker is all I gamble. I don't bet sports, thank God, because I would have lost a ton on the Super Bowl. But
I love the Eagles, but
so it's lost its desire. I wish they would have the NHC somewhere else, but I know why they have it in Vegas, and I don't see it changing.
It's the NHC. It's a convention for horse players, really.
It is.
It's got a contest that you can make a lot of money in. But let's face it, it's a convention. There's a lot of people giving away some free stuff at some booths, and you get to see all the other horse players, and that's what it pretty much is. I mean, the BCBC is a totally different animal. That's for the hardcore, real cash game players. Whereas the NHC, it's got a nice $2 mythical win place tournament for 3 days. You can make a lot of money, and it's a convention. you get to see all the other horse players. It's a
once
fun
a
time.
year. Once a
Yeah,
year.
it's once a year,
It's
but
Vegas, it's
yeah.
weird. Yeah, it's dirty.
And let's face it, the NHC.
Smells
I
like
mean,
piss.
say what you want about the price of the entry. There's a lot of different opinions on that and facts for that matter, but I don't like to get into the middle of it. Other big horse players that are no longer part of the NHC or even pay their membership fee have expressed their opinions on it. But we're talking about the food. At least you get a breakfast and you get a lunch. That's decent. It's a decent. The coffee's good too. I'll go to Starbucks though. There's not one very close. I got to walk all the way across the strip to Bellagio for the nearest freaking Starbucks. But the coffee's okay for regular coffee.
I mean, I know we have to have you function properly. You have to have your.
I'm all whacked out. I forget my name half the time. I'm so fried. If I don't get a good night's sleep or a good cup of coffee to start my day.
Yeah, and I love seeing everybody. I mean, hey, I'm there to win. I mean, let's face it. I'm not there. I'm not a huge drinker, and some people at my table like to drink. I've loosened up a little bit on that, but I need to be focused. And when I start drinking, it doesn't take a whole lot to get me all in a cloud. I mean, I'm a big lightweight. So, but yeah, so I want to stay focused, and I'm trying to hit the big score, and that's why I play, and that's why I enter, and I feel like I have enough confidence in my plays that I can be competitive, and and the funny thing is, I seem to do very well in the cash tournaments, and I don't feel like that's my strength, but I seem to do well. So,
well, you're a good horse player, Jeff. Don't cut yourself.
And I think I have strategy. So Matt Miller, you guys know him, I'm sure.
Yep, of course.
He's big into the go all in.
Yeah.
And I disagree. I think it's a little short-sighted.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to do that toward the end, but I think too many players will go all in too early and bust out, and that's great for me because I'm more of a grinder, and then I take my shot at the end when I need to. And so I think that strategy is done well. The one time I didn't do that, which was at the last BCBC, I decided to be much more aggressive, and I did horrible. So
yeah,
I'll stick to what I know, and but I do enjoy the win place format as well. I've had decent success in it, so
it's good stuff. Marco, what are your plans? There's a rumor that you might be making an appearance. I know you've been in limited contests this year, but
yeah, I'm not really playing in much. I'm going to play in the last chance. The thing is, I canceled my trip last year, and I have some pretty nice airline tickets.
Oh, really? Okay, I forgot about all that.
And I have to use them by March 12th of this year, which is right now. Otherwise, I lose them.
Well, you need to be there then.
So I'm like, well, I mean, everybody's going to be there. I can hang out. If I don't qualify, then so be it. But I'll have a chance on Thursday.
He'll sneak you a meal too if you need to.
Yeah, get a meal,
Oh yeah, you could just sit at the table. Yeah. So Jeff, your guys' table is very close to my table over there, and I know pretty much everybody at your table. I consider them friends of mine as well. So it's always that the camaraderie part's always good. Getting to see all the other horse players and it's good. If you do well, you like to do well in front of your peers and stuff like that. So it's always good. The first chance, last chance, I might play in it. Last year, I don't know. I like the fact that you could the Silver Sunday one. I saw you got some points on that, and that's if you don't make the cut. And I'm so embarrassed at my play last year after how well I did day one, and not to make the cut was excruciating to say the least.
Yeah,
it's cool
you were not in a good frame of mind by then.
No, and I did what you said that you shouldn't do, and I'm not a big drinker, but I mean, I felt like I won the whole damn thing after Friday. I went drinking. I'm eating. I was up late. I did not prepare properly the next day.
You know, I like the new format of that Silver Sunday, and
yeah,
because in the past I would like, I don't care, about the Sunday, and I was in it. I was in it to the end, and Stephen Gravina of my table, me and him were like right there together, and he ended up winning the seat for this year at that. And I just missed out, but I did win a little bit of cash, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I hope they continue with that similar format going forward. Because it is a letdown if you don't make the Sunday.
It sucks. Yeah, it's just, especially if you are it's just, it was not a good feeling for me last year. I got a cool video of the promo for the NHC. We'll watch it real quick here.
It's always great to qualify for the NHC. It's a great event, and you can win a lot of money. The NHC changed my entire family's life. My son, Justin, walked out of there at the end of the weekend with $725,000. So the NHC to us has been unbelievable. Fun, exciting, great to see all the people there. Over 600 contestants every year. Give it a try. Someone's going to have a life-changing event.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. You saw Tizar and I think it was Lerma in there.
So in the video. Kirk is he's an animated one for sure. I love that guy. He gets our table fired up when he's doing well.
Oh yeah, he gets going. It's funny watching him cheer on his horse. I'll get a little animated too if I have a price. Trying to cheer that one in. I figure everybody's screaming anyway, so I might as well go nuts myself.
It's part of the game.
Anthony said for sports, there's hockey tonight, USA versus Canada. Okay.
Yeah, they're doing some. Is this like the All-Star thing or something? Or because there's like
they're doing a little Four Nations tournament.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, well, I'll probably check that out.
The one thing I liked about it, I watched it, is like in the All-Star games, they're not trying. They're not playing any defense, not hitting. They're trying, and they're trying to win for their country. So, it puts a little bit better spin on the All-Star type game.
Four Nations face-off. I don't know what the hell that means, but maybe you can explain that, Jeff.
Yeah, so Canada, U.S., Sweden, and Finland, they're doing a round robin. So Canada beat Sweden already. USA beat Finland. So this is game 2. And then after the 3 games are played, the top 2 teams will play for the championship.
Okay.
So I think Canada and U.S. are the heavy favorites. So probably who wins this game will be in the finals for sure. The other team probably has to win the next game to make it.
Good stuff. Well, that's must-see TV. Anything else, fellas?
No, not for me.
I'm good. Let's win some money today.
Well, we like to end the show with let's cash some tickets. Usually my little nephew's running around over there. We have him say it, but he's still sleeping?
Still sleeping. He had a late night last night.
He has a late night every night. I can see him working third shift when he gets older.
Yeah, he was by his cousin's house and they were playing.
Yeah.
So
I'm so the opposite. I'm like struggling to stay awake at 10 p.m.
I know. I usually go to bed relatively early. I like to get up early and hear the birds chirp. And it's hard to get up we got like 6 inches of snow outside over here. But anyway, guys, hey, great show. Jeff, good luck today. I don't know. I'll probably just play Oaklawn, pick 5s, whatever. No contest.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
It was
fun.
Great to have you on. We'll have you on again. And congratulations again for winning your seat in Houston. And I look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas in about, believe it or not, 2-3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks. We're almost there. All right, guys. Well, We'll talk to you later. And Marco, no show tomorrow, but we'll be back here for racing on President's Day on Monday.
Yeah, big day.
All right, have a good one.
All right, everybody.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.